back to Elevation Sports Podcast, guys. We are here at the Walk-On Bar, the sponsored bar for the Reese's Senior Bowl this week, guys, in Mobile, Alabama. We hope you are out there watching and enjoying not only today, but enjoying the content that we've created for you guys so far this week. Along with, such things as a Michael Penix Jr. interview, Braden Fisk, just so many down the line, Sam Hartman. Blake, how we feeling, man?
Dude, this has been absolutely amazing, man. Like, I am so glad that we are here today, man. This is awesome, man. We are live here at Walk-Ons here down in Mobile, Alabama, man. I am excited to be here, Annie.
Hell yeah, man. It's definitely exciting, guys. After the week of practices, we are finally here nearing the game day, guys, and it is super exciting. You can hold the mic more freely, bro. Like, you don't have to look like a robot. You can, like, hold it to yourself.
Okay.
And you can hear me right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, after this week of practices, guys, there is a ton of recap to be done. We got initial reactions from the week of practice. We've got shout out to Walk-Ons Bar again, guys, for allowing us to come and shoot the show here live, man. We've got a ton of merch to give out if you guys are in Mobile right now.
Tons of swag.
Tons of stuff, man. Reese's, everything, man. We got a ton to go over this episode. We're going to be here just rocking out, man. This is our first live broadcast. How are you feeling, Blake, man?
Dude, I am so excited, man. We are doing our first live broadcast, man. I cannot wait to talk about everything that we've seen in practice this week, Henny. Everything that we have observed during the practices leading up to the game for tomorrow, man. It is the 75th Senior Bowl, man. We have got a lot to look forward to for tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there is going to be not only a ton of players that impress and, not only improve their draft stock, but also just take that next level in their game and as a person as well, man. And so let's dive right into it, man. We have seen a ton of stuff from practice. We've heard a ton of information. What is some of the things that stood out to you this week in practice, Blake?
Yeah, man, the way we definitely saw a difference in the way each of the practices were ran, both by the defensive coordinator from the New York Jets, Jeff Ulbrich, and then also with the Tennessee Titans defensive line coach, Terrence Williams. So it was very, very interesting to observe how each of the practices were different. We could definitely see how each coach kind of rubbed off on each of these teams and how they brought certainly their character and their personality to all these players and the assistant coaches that are on their staffs.
Yeah, it was definitely wild. I feel like the American team, which was coached by Terrell Williams, who has guys like a Spencer Rattler, a Joe Milton, a Michael Pratt, Xavier Legette, receiver from South Carolina. Those practices to me were a little bit more conservative, and it wasn't as aggressive of a practice as what we saw from the national team, as you said, with Jeff Ulbrich and guys like, some of the top tier quarterbacks as Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Sam Hartman, and just a ton of talent on that field. And it was very interesting, as you said, to see how these guys went ahead and planned and executed these practices, because it was a lot more conservative on the American side.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. And just seeing the intensity from the national team and just, how that team, was literally all gas, no brakes. And that was very much reflective in their head coach, Jeff Ulbrich.
Yeah, no, it for sure was. Whether it was the extensive amount of one-on-one that we saw from the receivers, DBs, running backs, linebackers, tight ends, and, safeties and such, or the aggressive one-on-ones from the offensive defensive line. That's the one thing I will say is that if we did see any plus from the American team, it was that they definitely knew how to handle some of these defensive linemen, like a Braden Fisk, like a T'Vondre Sweat, and those things were definitely shown. And I think that in the trenches, there was a little bit more focus on the American team, which is natural because of who their coach was. And as well as with Jeff Ulbrich on the national team, we've watched Hard Knocks this season with the Jets, and we've kind of see how they execute practices and how their more natural, aggressive nature is during the practice and training camps, particularly. So it wasn't any surprise to see that translate here this week at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, man, exactly. And I think that we could tell that the players on the national team were a lot more loose, and they were having a lot more fun out there. Not to say that the American team wasn't having fun. It just looked like that it was a lot more loose with the national team, and that the American team was really focused on really coaching up the fundamentals, really trying to put these players in a position where they were really working on, their craft and really sharpening their skills. And then on top of that, having some more regular practice situations.
No, for sure. And like I said, you don't have to hold the mic like that. You can hold it to you the whole time. They'll be able to hear me.
Okay.
Yeah, man, like I said, I think I got to ask you, does the more aggressive nature and style, does that have to do with the type of quarterbacks that the national team had as opposed to the American team? Do you think the quarterback drop-off and the quarterback play from guys like Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Sam Hartman, do you think that was the reason why the practices maybe looked a little bit more fluent on the national team and a little bit more of success, particularly on the offensive end?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it just seemed like that they were really just attacking and they were really competing. That was something that I really noticed from the national team was that the practices were very competitive, but at the same time they were very intense. And that was evident by such players as Brendan Rice, who really was out there competing, really fighting for every pass thrown his way, going up for those balls, making contested catches in practice and really competing.
No, yeah, for sure. Hey, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Now, look, guys, leading into that, you brought up Brendan Rice and how his aggressive style and, such other players, but let's lead right into our next segment where we're going to be discussing some of our top, most impressive prospects from this week, and just kind of who impressed you the most, who stood out to you, who really popped on the film.
Yeah, for me, I know that...
You all good?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you. So I know, for me at least, I know first and foremost on the national team, who really, really, really impressed me was Brendan Rice, the wide receiver out of USC. He was absolutely relentless in practice. He fought, he competed, he displayed his aggressive style of play. He was a very, very, very fun player to watch this entire week of practice. He reminds me of Michael Floyd, the former wide receiver from Notre Dame, with his big build, his very physical and aggressive style of play, and just making
Oh yeah, good, bro.
After contested catch, and just really showcasing his not only spectacular catchability and his strong hands and great ball skills, but also just his athletic ability, his elusiveness, and how he can really run routes at a very, very high level and really create separation and make big time plays on the ball as a red zone threat and target.
Yeah, so I can't disagree, man. Brendan Rice was definitely looking like a monster out there. He had just a ton of traits that you definitely wanted to see, whether that was a mixture of, the physicality of like a Calvin Johnson Jr. or the speed of a kind of taller guy like a Julio Jones. He definitely has a lot in his game, and you can tell that he watched film growing up on just a ton of different players.
Yep.
The guy, one of the guys that stood out to me most was a very surprised pick, and, he wasn't very talented out of high school as well as in college, and clearly, it was a mistake by some of these bigger schools, and that is Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis, the running back from South Dakota State, man, he absolutely balled out this week, whether that was showcasing his ball carry vision and one-cut ability, or in the 11-on-11s, or, whatever they were doing. But where he really showcased the most skill to me and talent was in his one-on-ones with the linebackers and safety. is a guy, left tackle Patrick Paul out of Houston. You might not know him, but with his ability this week to showcase his anchor ability as a left tackle and his ability to be sturdy in the pass, the pass protection, and his kick step is the fastest in this class. I have studied a lot of them, and his kick step is super fast. He has the ability to contain guys that are coming off the edge really fast, such as a Micah Parsons, a Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, those type of guys, because of how fast he is. But when you look at him, he is an absolute unit that is not going to get out-muscled either or out-strength. And they also, guys, at the end of the last practice, they had the O and D line running some routes, and he got to show off his amazing athleticism to these NFL scouts. He was out there running fade balls, corner routes, in routes, just snagging things. So I think that he definitely rose his stock, and I think he was one of the best players overall this week.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We've seen like all the hype, of course, that has been surrounding the offensive tackle from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton, but do not sleep on, everybody, Patrick Paul, the offensive tackle from Houston. He was an absolute beast this week. He is definitely another offensive lineman that you need to have your eyes on, and his stock absolutely rose, Henny, without question.
Yeah, I expect him to be taken, if not in the first round, definitely early second. Now, let's kind of get to a guy who, let's get to a couple players who may have surprised you this week with their performance.
Yeah, one of the guys who I was really surprised by their performance this week.
Oh, you guys can do all that? You just?
And who was really, really impressive to me, who really stood out. I was really, really impressed with, I gotta say, man, it was really interesting to see what we saw from the running back from Troy, Kimani Vidal. He was a very explosive, very dynamic, and a very quick twitch, speed, change of pace running back. He really impressed me this week. He had some pop plays where he took short passes out of the backfield, or he would take a handoff and he would just explode to the second level, and he just looked like he was very decisive and made explosive runs consistently throughout the week. I absolutely love what I saw from Kimani Vidal, the running back from Troy this week.
Yeah, like that's an amazing pick. He was absolutely looking explosive in and out of his cuts through the, running inside, running outside. Vidal's definitely got to watch in maybe the mid to later rounds this year in the draft. The guy that I have to choose is hands down someone that popped every single day and just made himself known every single day on that practice field. And that is the safety from Oregon, Evan Williams.
I love that pick.
Coincidentally ended up winning the player of the week this week at the Senior Bowl for the practices. So it was not only to me, but to the rest of the coaches and the players that he was the guy that stood out the most. His ability to break on the ball, his ability to play man coverage from the safety position, as well as come up and make impact plays at the line of scrimmage. Evan Williams is a guy who I completely think went from maybe a undrafted or late 7th, 6th, 5th round pick to now potentially being a 3rd or 2nd or 4th round pick because of his ability to showcase everything and more this week at the Senior Bowl practices. Is there anyone else that you think kind of surprised you?
Yeah, absolutely. Another player who really stood out to me, who I was really impressed with, and I had such high hopes for him because, of course, us being from Colorado and being so familiar with his family and his origins and everything, and who really popped out to me this week, who I was so eager and excited to see, was Luke McCaffrey, the wide receiver from Rice. He made big catch after big catch, and I was so impressed with his ability to run routes and make the transition from quarterback, because everyone forgets that he did start off as a quarterback and coming from Nebraska, where he started off his career originally and then making his way over to Rice. You can certainly tell that he has made that seamless transition from a quarterback to a receiver. Luke McCaffrey really popped for me this week, and I was extremely impressed with his strong hands, his route running, and his separation against the DBs, and how he looked really good in and out of his breaks and cutting in his routes. So Luke McCaffrey.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
like that's a great pick. He looked really explosive, and the thing about him that impressed me the most was he just looks like a natural athlete out there that he can do anything on that field that you want and you can ask him to do.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome. Man, there's a ton of guys that were definitely surprises and came out of the woodworks, and uh, it's so tough to choose, but I don't think that there's any shortage of these players to choose from, but the biggest guy to me was definitely Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, aka Carter Bradley.
Carter Bradley.
The local kid from South Alabama. He had some nice throws this week. He made some nice plays out there on the field. Obviously, I don't think that anybody thought that he would be one of the quarterbacks that would be here. I think he was a late add-on, if I'm not mistaken. I think that when he was added to the roster, I think he was a late addition, but he really showed some good things from us this week. With his rhythm and his timing and throwing with anticipation and making throws. With good ball placement, good accuracy, good precision, and showing some decent arm talent.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's what impressed me the most was not only his ability to. He has such great touch on the ball. He has a great arm. He can make all the throws. But for me, what I was watching was that his processing of the offense this week was a little bit faster and a little bit quicker than guys like Joe Milton, Spencer Rattler, Michael Pratt. That was on that American team, because when he was under center, the offense flowed more. The offense looked better. The offense was persistently making plays and gaining yards, and you could tell if it was a real game, they would be gaining momentum and getting first downs. And so, I'm really interested to see what he can do tomorrow in the game, because if he can go and showcase those same skills that he did this week in practice, then he might be a guy that is a future, Brock Purdy type of guy who can get drafted in the 7th round and maybe make a name for himself.
Yeah, Henny, I completely agree with you. I think that many fans out there, including us, are very eager to watch the Senior Bowl game tomorrow, because we want to see what this quarterback group from the American team can really show us tomorrow. I think we want to see what this group can really do, because obviously it doesn't have the star power that the national team has. And so I think we are definitely very eager and very anxious and excited to see what Joe Milton can do, what Michael Pratt can do, and what Carter Bradley can do, and really see if Spencer Rattler can also elevate his game and really raise his level of play, with all the lights shining on him, with all the cameras around him. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this American team with their group of quarterbacks can do during the game tomorrow.
No, for sure. And guys, again, big shout out to Walk-Ons and my boy Wes right here, guys.
Thank you so much, Wes, for having us, man.
Make sure you guys tap in. And one thing we didn't tell Wes, so we figured out a plan how we're going to give stuff away.
Okay.
They got to beat us in Pop Shot. You beat us in Pop Shot, you get a prize. Anyone that walks by. So once you start seeing more people walk by, we're gonna start offering them that. So
that sounds great, man.
Yeah, man. So
you guys have a good time tonight. Have fun.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my God, first class hospitality, guys. If you are looking for the best damn sports bar to come and hang out and get amazing grub, amazing food, and watch your favorite sportsman, Walk-Ons is without a doubt the best place. We came here the other day and we had nothing but amazing, incredible service. Our waitress, Sophie, shout out to Sophie, was absolutely amazing, so gracious, and just amazing service. And Wes came over and said hi to us and was so excited to have us here tonight. So we are extremely honored. Thank you, Wes, for your amazing hospitality.
I will pull it one step further.
Give it to
Anytime you guys are in town, any kind of event, anytime you want to do something, I don't care. You can do this anytime you want to.
Oh, thank
my
you,
gosh,
man.
thank you so
And
much,
we'll
Wes.
definitely be in touch with you, stay in contact, man. And this was such a great opportunity, and hopefully we bring some business and some things to you. I know that we've got a couple people on the live broadcast that are headed down here, if not already down here now. So that's definitely good. And so
I hope they beat your ass in the Pop Shot.
hey,
right.
maybe not me, but maybe
Former
Blake,
basketball
man.
player right here. Former
Yeah,
basketball
not me,
player. So
maybe
if you
Blake.
So if you beat Henny right here, man, serious bragging rights right here, man.
So
This dude's pretty good.
If I can find our founder, Brandon Landry, who let you walk on, you're going to try to...
Oh yeah. We'll go head to head. Oh yeah, we'll go head to head.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And hey, if Wes wants to play, at any time, I'm right here.
No, I'll leave that to the guys.
Thank
You guys have fun. Like I said, there's a lot of parents. I know, we know there's a couple of players that got some family in the building. They said they're willing to talk, so anybody want to talk too?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you hear anything, send them our way, and if we see anybody that you pointed out, like, we'll definitely pull them aside and have them come over.
I'll go grab you. I'll go grab you his dad.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're gonna have.
You can go. Yeah. Hey, you want a prize? You want to play me in Pop Shot for it? You got to play me in Pop Shot. You got to play me in Pop Shot. You got to beat me. Whatever you want, man. What was your name?
There you go, man. Lorenzo.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
So nice to meet you, man. I'm Blake. Very nice to meet you, Lorenzo. Take care, buddy. Have a great night,
I went 0 for 4, man. I went 0 for 4.
First visitor here.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and take a seat.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Ryan,
Austin. Nice to meet you. Austin Hendricks. Yes.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Elevation Sports.
Where do we sit? Right here?
Yeah. Go ahead and sit
Thank you,
there.
sir.
So what is this? I don't even know what it is.
So we are the Elevation Sports Podcast. We are a podcast out of Denver, Colorado. We cover all things Denver sports, but also some of the national sports coverage also. So thank you so much for coming on with us, Brian.
Now, we got to tell you, the Denver Broncos are definitely a team that's looking for a punter this week. Looking at punters this week, and I've gotten that inside information. So not only Tory Taylor, but Austin as well. So do you think that the Denver Broncos would be a good fit for Austin?
Yeah, absolutely. It's elevation. You gotta love elevation. The ball flies about 5 yards further.
Yep.
Ultimately, I think Austin's a good fit for any team. He excels at directional punting. So putting the ball close to the sidelines.
Yep, we saw that this week.
And so most guys put it in the middle of the field, and my son does not like to tackle. So in order to prevent that from happening and end up on Sports Center not top 10,
Yep.
he puts it on the other numbers.
Yep. No, and that makes a lot of sense, and we definitely saw that. We definitely saw that not only in the film this week, but while watching, but on practice field. Now I got to ask you, you have probably made so many sacrifices and made so many things happen for Austin to get here at this point. What is your favorite moment from watching him grow up and just specifically football, but like what is your favorite moment from him in his life? Like whether at Texas Tech or at Little League, or man, you got to be so proud.
I am proud of him. He works really hard.
Yep.
I don't think people realize how hard you have to work, even as a punter.
Yep.
He works when no one's watching. He works the hardest, so that
Yep.
when everyone is watching, he's prepared and it pays off.
Yep.
As far as my proudest moment, he broke a lot of records at
Yep.
Texas Tech, and pretty much all of them actually. And
That's what he
set
did.
Multiple Big 12 records too. But that's honestly, like the thing I was most proud of is watching him interact with kids after a game and signing autographs. Bending, kneeling down. He's 6'5". He bends down to their level, talks to them face to face, takes pictures with them. That honestly are the things that make me the proudest about him. It's the way he treats other people.
That's-
his success.
That's incredible to hear because, we did get to talk to Austin this week as well. And so, like, just seeing him, and he is a fantastic man. And that must, like, make you so proud, just knowing that you raised somebody who's not only great on the field, but off the field. Like
I always say, he has a great mother.
oh,
That's what makes him so awesome as a human.
no, exactly. And I know that me and Blake as well, like, we all know that the mother is the biggest influence. You got any questions for her?
Absolutely, yeah, Brian. So I just wanted to ask you, man. So one of my best friends from college, he is a former punter. He played at Fort Hays State University. set all kinds of records there for punting also. What are some of the things that you have observed so far throughout this week of practice with Austin, and what do you think are some things that he has improved upon most in his game that you would like scouts and like general managers and coaches to know?
I think what he showed this week in practice is that he's really consistent. Doesn't hit very many bad balls, and that's hard to do. I mean, guys, remember, you're trying to hit a moving object out of the air.
Yeah.
Kicking's kind of easy. You stay here, just sit there, just swing at it, kick it, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to hit a moving ball every time, and by having a ball 1 inch to the inside, that's 10 yards to the left in the middle of the field. So your margin for error is very slim. So very consistent is very difficult to do. His consistency is top notch. And again, he rarely puts a ball in the middle of the field. It's always going to be near the numbers or even between the number and the sideline. I think that's what sets him apart from the other players in this class.
Nice.
That's awesome. And then, so my next question for you, Brian, is how do you think that Austin's game will translate at the next level? And do you really think that he can be both not only a punter, but also has like the versatility to be a kicker also and maybe handle some of the kickoff duties also?
Yeah, I 1,000% believe he can translate to the next level and help with the team. He is one of the few guys in this class that punts really well.
Yeah.
He holds very well. He actually takes a ton of pride in holding.
Nice.
Over 3 years as a starter at Texas Tech, helped lots of game winners at Tech, helped us get the bowl games. So he's been in those pressure situations. And as far as the kicker goes, in high school he was an all-state kicker. In fact, he got more awards as a kicker than he did as a punter in high school in Arizona.
Wow.
Wow, that is extremely impressive.
He can still make field goals just fine. He makes extra points. That's not very difficult for him.
Yep.
He'll show that probably at pro day. He'll get some extra points. And then kickoff-wise, he still practices kickoffs. Does it quite a bit back at home in Arizona.
Yeah.
And hits the ball in the end zone just fine. So I think he has more to show the NFL, and I think that will hopefully help differentiate from everybody else.
Absolutely love to hear that, Brian. Love to hear that he is a just complete all-around weapon on special teams as a kicker, as a punter. I think that is so important for the next level. And honestly, man, the last thing that I want to ask you is, what are your guys' plans? The draft is. So do you guys think that you're gonna have a big party at the house? You're gonna go out somewhere, or what's it gonna be like at the McNamara household? Watching your son hopefully have the chance to finally live out his childhood dream.
Honestly, haven't talked about it.
Nice.
No, we haven't really. Honestly, I really. I don't. We haven't even talked about what we're gonna do. I'm sure we'll probably be at home. Watching on TV like everybody else.
That's awesome.
As far as having people over or anything big, honestly, we haven't really talked about it. There's a lot has to happen, between now and April, whatever it is, 29th or whatever it is, the draft. Hopefully he gets invited to the NFL Combine.
Yep.
Then we have pro day, and then hopefully multiple team workouts, and then sort of start thinking about the draft.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to be drafted as a punter. It's not
It is.
running back. I think I saw a stat: 98% of people playing this game get drafted. I think the 2% are the specialists.
Yeah, right.
Maybe only 1 or 2 of those get drafted. So it's very tough to get drafted as a specialist. So, we'll see. Austin's a good job at, during the season, when agents were calling, Austin and I only talked about NFL on Mondays. It was his day off. We play golf. We have a conversation about what agent had talked to us or what new NFL news there was, and after that, Tuesday through Saturday night, we never see one thing about the NFL because it doesn't. If he wasn't staying focused on getting it done during the season, NFL is not going to get an option at that point. He didn't do well.
Yeah.
So similarly with this training, you just got to stay focused. Go for each day. And, in April, we'll figure out what we're going to do about the draft.
Yeah, I just have 2 more. What is a player that Austin looked up to and kind of models his game after?
That's a good question. So I know he watches a lot of film of A.J. Cole,
Oh,
Raiders
yes,
punter.
yes.
All pro this year. Just got it done on both gross and net. Similar size, big guy.
Yeah.
So I know Austin likes to watch his film. One person that's actually really influential is an old kicker from the Indianapolis Colts, Mike Vanderjagt.
Yep.
He lives in Scottsdale, near where we live, and he trained Austin during high school. And
Really?
He helped Austin a lot of his confidence and did that right kicker mindset, and I think Austin listened to him as well.
That is
Awesome.
He's a family friend now.
No, that's awesome. And my last question for you before I let you get back to your amazing dinner here at the Walk-On Bar. Guys, what would be your ideal destination for your son? Like, there's
Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals.
30 minutes from my house.
Boom, you guys heard it.
There you go.
Church in the morning, football game at night.
I love to hear it.
And I don't have to get an airplane.
You cannot beat that.
awesome.
You cannot beat that. And honestly, I can't name who their punter is, so that might be a really likely
I
destination.
know who they're playing.
Oh, you know. Hey,
He actually had a very good year, honestly. No, Austin doesn't have a favorite team. There's no one team he's hoping for. I call him Dad's pipe dream because he played 60 college football games. I traveled to 57 of them.
Oh, man.
I'm done traveling. So selfishly, I'd like a local team. But no, I mean anywhere. Usually the NFC West, NFC South are great places for punters because either A, it's really good outside weather, outdoor stadium, good weather like Tampa, for example, in the South, or you've got indoor, domes. Cardinals have an indoor, Saints, and Atlanta have indoors as well.
Yes.
For the Rams, Niners, they're all favorable weather, good places to punt in.
Oh, yeah. Guys, Brian, it was an honor to meet you, an honor to talk to you, man.
Nice to meet you guys.
Guys,
So nice to meet you, Brian. Thank you so much.
let's get Austin drafted. Let's get Austin to the Arizona Cardinals, guys. Make it happen. And for all the GMs and scouts, man, you guys heard it here from the Pops. Like, there's not a better punter in this class. Period. So thank you so much, Brian. An honor to meet you, man.
Brian, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Guys, you guys heard it here first, man. Brian McNamara. Of course, always, man.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you.
We love it. Hey, if you want to take the car, give it to Austin.
Austin on,
We'd like
man.
a follow-up interview or something,
Yeah.
Kind of
He's good to stuff.
ask him a little bit about Mr. Brian here, man.
We really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, guys, you heard it here first, man. Let's get Austin to get drafted, man. Because like you said, punters do not get drafted very often, or in kickers, you know what I mean? It's a very rare occasion that those things do go down. So
Yep.
if Austin, with his 6'5" frame and his ability to punt the ball, as he said, directionally and, just with precision and precise, like, let's get him on the team. And honestly, if Denver is in a position to get a punter, like,
Yeah.
let's go get him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the fact that we heard from Brian also, the fact that he can be a kicker, he can make kicks as a place kicker. He can do kickoffs. I mean, he's a complete all-around player. He has really impressed me throughout the Senior Bowl this week. I know that I have definitely observed him make some very accurate, very precise punts. Was really impressed with his hang time also. Just an absolute weapon on special teams, and I look forward to following his draft journey for the next level.
Yeah, no, for sure. And let's go ahead and dive back into the show, man. We are very honored and very lucky to be joined by people like Brian McNamara and whoever else joins us on the show today, guys. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see who our next guest is. But in the meantime, Henny, I gotta ask you, man, because I've been dying to get to this topic with you, man. Who are 3 prospects that we would like to see more from in terms of what we've observed this week from the Senior Bowl? Who maybe we're kind of expecting a little bit more from that you're excited to see in the game tomorrow.
Yeah, man, I'll start with one of the obvious clear choices for me in this topic is I would love to see more tomorrow from Ricky Purcell, the wide receiver from Florida, man. He has absolutely amazing talent, amazing ability. He has one of the best press releases off of the line in the slot. I think his true fit in the NFL is in the slot, but if he can showcase tomorrow that he also has that X ability to play on the outside and to be an outside receiver as well, I think he'll only improve his stock from there. And the reason that he's on my list is because we did not get to see him the 3rd day of practice. He did not practice, so hopefully he's good to play tomorrow.
Yeah, man. The guy that I am most excited to watch tomorrow, and I really hope that he is going to be healthy enough to play, because I know we were so excited watching him early on in the week, and then kind of towards the end of the week, he had an unexpected injury. We're not really sure what it was that he was dealing with, but he seemed confident when we interviewed him that he was going to be back in time for the game. And I know we've watched a lot of tape on him and are extremely impressed with him. But the cornerback from Penn State, Johnny Dixon, I absolutely love this kid. This kid reminds me so much of a Jaquan McMillan, and his physicality and his relentless pursuit, and the fact that he is a complete cornerback, both an outside cornerback on an island and a very capable inside slot cornerback. I think he is the complete package. He can play man-to-man, he can play press, he can play off, he can play like in the zone. I mean, he is a complete cornerback. He is physical, he can tackle, he can come up and run support. He is just terrific to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the other guy for me is, I absolutely love interviewing this guy, and I love talking to him. He's an amazing person, but I need to see what he can do in the game, because he had an amazing week of practice. But is Elijah James, the cornerback from Boston College? I think that he has a big time ability and opportunity right here tomorrow to showcase his talents and to move himself up in this draft process and in this draft, because he is not only very lengthy and very fast, but he has all the tools and all the ability to be an NFL star. And I think that, like I said, Elijah James out of Boston College has got all the ability, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That is a fantastic pick, man. And another guy who I really want to see more from also, who, showed us some flashes this week and really, showed us some glimpses of his talent, who I really think has a amazing opportunity to capitalize and make some big time plays in the game tomorrow, is the quarterback from South Carolina, Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler has a tremendous opportunity to improve his draft stock tomorrow and really separate himself from the rest of the American team quarterbacks, and really make a big time statement in the game tomorrow.
I think we wanted everyone to be able to play free
elevate his draft stock and show what he can do. At the next
I was just
level.
letting I know
really
Wes
looking
is
forward
somewhere
to
around
what
here, so
we are going
I don't
to
know.
see
Yeah, I was
from
just letting
Spencer
you know.
Rattler tomorrow.
That's why it was like that.
I think he's going to be.
Oh yeah. I was just. I didn't want you to be
sleeper
confused
in this draft class. Someone that teams can take. Maybe like in the third or fourth round, maybe even the fifth round, and he could be a big time developmental quarterback prospect.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. He is definitely next level. I think that, with all the ability, all the talent, and the guy for me is, man, there's just so many choices. There's so many
great picks that you can pick from.
I gotta see more from Ray Davis, man. It's not that we haven't seen enough from Ray Davis out of Kentucky, the running back, but it's the fact that we aren't being able to really evaluate these running backs in these practices because of the non-contact it's not full contact. You can't really get a gauge on how these guys are when, we can't predict if they're going to be tackled or miss the tackle, so it's really tough.
Yep.
So I want to see more out of Ray Davis, and I want to see what the film showed us when we were doing our due diligence of watching the film on these guys and studying these guys and seeing how they played, and the film definitely popped. Like, Ray Davis was one of the best looking running backs in our film study process, and I just definitely want to see him be able to do what he did in film on the game on Saturday.
Dude, love that pick, man. I cannot wait to watch Ray Davis tomorrow. That is something that has really surprised me too this week. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of love and a lot of props given to this running back class, and I feel like that there's been a lot of hate that's been kind of put on this draft class, when it comes to the running backs, man. I'm telling you, I have been here, Henny has been here, we have observed some incredibly talented running backs in this draft class. I feel like it has been extremely underrated and extremely overlooked. And I am so excited to watch not only Ray Davis, but even the running back from New Hampshire tomorrow, Dylan Lobb, who really flashed and really popped this week. I think you guys are going to be very pleasantly surprised tomorrow when you observe these running backs in action tomorrow, because they really made some big time plays this week throughout practice, man. It was awesome to see.
Yeah. No doubt. You know, tomorrow's just such an amazing opportunity for
so many players
and so many people to showcase that ability. And to your point, like, I don't like the fact that these running backs at the Senior Bowl are being so slept on when it comes to, you know, these high-profile mock drafts and these high-profile, you know, Daniel Jeremiah's and, you know, Mel Kiper's and Todd McShay's, and, you know, I don't understand why not one of these guys who are at the Senior Bowl are ranked top 3 in the class at running back, because I see a guy like Marshawn Lloyd, and I see a guy like, you know, Vidal, and, you know, just many of these guys that are here this week, that Ray Davis, that should and deserve to be considered at least for this top 3 ranking of their class, man. And you know, you got guys like Trey Benson and Blake Corum and you know, a couple other guys. And why isn't Blake Corum here showing his ability? Why isn't Blake Corum here showing out his talent? You know, what has Blake Corum done to deserve this kind of bypass of the Senior Bowl? More than a Marshawn Lloyd, who not only balled out at USC but also balled out of South Carolina. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't get the slander of these running backs at the Senior Bowl, man.
No, exactly, man, and that's exactly what I'm getting at, because we have seen so many incredible prospects here that, although that they may be from smaller schools and lesser known schools, they have really showed up and showed out, and they have made a statement this week, as well as so many of the wide receivers here. And one of the guys that I know that we evaluated on film and who really popped to us on film that we really wanted to see more.
Hold on. Hey, who want to win a prize? Who want to win a prize?
Me?
You want to win a prize?
Yeah.
All right, look, we got all these options. Gift card, everything over here, all right? All you got to do is give me your pocket. Whatever you want, bro. Whatever you want to pick, bro.
How much is it?
I think it's either
$10 gift card.
Wait,
We are Elevation Sports Podcast, man. We're a podcast. We're here covering the Super Bowl this week. So definitely take this card too.
Yeah, man, if you're cruising, awesome.
Yeah, take the card too. Make sure to check us out TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, bro. Hey, dude, I lost 2 in a row now. 2 in a row.
That was awesome.
Sorry, guys, we are back, and guys, like, oh man, we're now 0-2 in the pop shot.
The former basketball player here, man, like he'd be struggling, man.
It is ugly, man, and you know, it's the depth perception. You know, the depth perception. It's a little bit longer than what it seems like it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, man.
So anyway, man, as I was saying, another guy that I know that we were really eager to see this week, that I know that we want to see a little bit more from, is Michael Corley, man. I think he is a wide receiver that I think has a big time opportunity to showcase what he can do tomorrow. He had a little bit of a very difficult week this week. You know, kind of had some drops here and there, but I think that if he can make a statement tomorrow, that will definitely help his draft stock tomorrow for sure.
For sure, man. And you know, like, when we watched film on him, we really liked him. We thought that his abilities were absolutely transcendent to the next level. You know, he's got the speed, he's got the ability with the ball. The things that we saw this week at practice were a little discouraging in the sense that, you know, he had a really big drop problem, and and that was undeniable. You give a couple, you give them a pass on the first couple, but when you just drop pass after pass, man, I really hope he can show this Saturday that he does have in-game ability to not drop the ball, to secure the ball, and to be a sure hands type of guy.
And then on top of that, we saw his tremendous versatility and his dynamic athleticism. They were giving him some end-around plays, some jet sweeps, and we could see that, very explosive speed, and that burst and that acceleration, up the field and everything. So this guy is a weapon, man. He is very, very underrated, and I can't wait for people to hopefully get a very great introduction to Michael Corley, because I think he is one of the more explosive, more dynamic wide receivers in this class that may be overlooked a little bit.
No, for sure. And there's so many of those guys, and that's why we're at the Senior Bowl. That's why this is a Senior Bowl, because a lot of the seniors in college football are getting looked over, and they do get looked over. And that's why I'm so glad that they had this last chance and this last opportunity to prove to the NFL and the NFL scouts that they are NFL ready and that they're NFL proven, man. And I think that this is a tremendous opportunity. But speaking of tremendous opportunities, I think this is a tremendous opportunity for me to go find a waitress so we can order a little bit of appetizers for my boy and another brewski.
Absolutely, and some more brewskis.
So, yeah, let me go get that done.
We're going to take a break?
No, I'm going to take a break. You're going to keep going.
Okay, so I'll keep going. All right.
Let's hear Bronco Blake.
Bronco Blake here.
Off the floor, baby.
All right, man. So I got to tell you, everybody, being down here this week, we have seen some incredible prospects down here, man. I am telling you right now, one of the other guys who has really popped out to both Penny and I, who has made some big-time plays also, is the wide receiver Roman Wilson from Michigan. He has made some amazing, spectacular catches this week, showing his amazing catching ability and showing his tremendous route running and just, picking up right where he left off from the national championship game, when we saw him make just play after play in that game for J.J. McCarthy and the Michigan Wolverines. Roman Wilson was a guy who's really impressive this week. And another guy who's also very, very, very guy who's really impressive this week. And another guy who's also very, very, very the top quarterbacks taken in this year's draft. And on top of that, of course, the quarterback from the University of Oregon, Bo Nix. Bo Nix kind of had a, slow, first day or two, and then he continued to elevate his game throughout the week. Bo Nix from Oregon, he made every single throw that you could ask from a quarterback also, showing that he has the arm talent to make all the deep passes, make the difficult intermediate throws over the middle in the passing game, in the intermediate passing game, as well as the short passing game. So Bo Nix really impressed this week. On top of that, also, we have also got to also shine some
Elevation Sports. We are here with some guests, guys. We got Big Blue in the Bronx. We've got John, Brian, Alex. Oh my gosh, I'm so done. John, Alex, Luca, and Brian. We just met, guys. So, guys, these guys not only are New York Giants fans, New York Jets fans, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans as well. So we got a big mixture of people here. These guys run a podcast or a... What do you guys do?
We do a channel. We do a lot of different things. It started out as a Giants thing, moved to a lot of other different things, baseball, mostly New York centric, but obviously we got to cover the Senior Bowl down here, and that's why we're down here.
Where can we find you guys?
Yeah, we do a little stuff we do YouTube, right? We're almost at 2,000 subscribers.
Nice.
So we're about 1,800 right now. YouTube is the main source. Twitter is also very good. Be Blue in the Bronx. Find us on there. TikTok's under my name. I got to shift it a little bit, but we're going to be putting a lot of interviews on there, hoping to get some views and stuff like that. And yeah.
Awesome, guys. Now, listen, we're going to go ahead and we've been talking about some of the players that impressed us, some of the players that maybe have a little bit more to show, let's say, tomorrow in the game. Now, I just want to go around the table and kind of get your guys' let's give, one player that you really popped out this week and then one player that, you kind of want to see a little bit more from throughout the game tomorrow.
So I'll give one guy, and I'll try and give a guy that's not as known or wasn't as known coming in. The defensive lineman Gabe Hall had a fantastic week, in my opinion. I mean, this guy was beating some of the best tackles out there in the one-on-one drills. Okay, I saw a few nice spin moves that he had, and his strength is actually really impressive because he doesn't look the biggest, but man, he was able to throw back guys, and he won a lot of those one-on-one reps. So he impressed me. In terms of a guy, I'll try and give a skill position guy that I really liked. One guy that's an underrated guy, I'd say. I shouldn't say he's so underrated because the name might be familiar, but Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's brother, he had a few nice grabs. Okay, there was one grab yesterday where he had a really nice toe tap in the end zone for a touchdown. Really impressed with his separation and his athleticism. So there's a guy that flashed this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, so as a player I really liked is a guy we got to interview, and this guy's had several conversations with the New York Giants, and actually unfortunately went home because of a hamstring injury he tweaked in practice, he told me. That's Jackson Powers Johnson, the offensive lineman out of Oregon. And I watched his film, I did his scouting report, and he's a mean guy. He's a great run blocker, he has a finishing attitude. He's even better in pass protection. He's got the torque, he's got the anchor. And he could be a really good lineman. I mean, right now I got a second-round projection on him. You can move him to guard. That's what the Giants have talked to him about. So he's a guy that's really impressed me coming from Oregon. And a guy I want to see a little bit more out of is Xavier Legette. And a lot of people are, looking at all these different guys. Devontae Walker, Xavier Worthy, Malachi Corley, just a lot of wide receivers in this draft. I feel like we didn't see enough consistency from Legette this week because the first day was like, okay, you didn't see much. The second day is where he really popped out. Spencer Rattler, I got to give a shout out to him too. I thought he was the most consistent quarterback on the American team.
Really?
Aside from Carter Bradley, he had his up and down days.
Bradley Cooper. That's what we call him over here.
Yeah. And Michael Pratt too. But Rattler was pretty consistent. But Legette, I want to see a little bit more out of him. Hopefully, he could show some stuff at the combine and also his pro day.
Awesome, man. And hey, guys, just to show you guys that I am learning, John, Alex, Luca, Brian.
There you go.
Let's go, Luca.
Right,
He's got it.
Hey! There we go. So one of my standouts this week, he's got a pretty big name. Me and Brian were scouting, and Brendan Rice out of USC obviously has the name recognition. He's Jerry Rice's son. Has speed, has separation. I like his route running a lot. He really could get open. He made some fantastic catches, the one-on-ones. I've been really impressed with. Malachi Corley's been really speedy as well. Same with.
What about the drops from Malachi Corley, though?
Yeah, that's been a problem of his, but I like his speed, and I think that's what attracts me to him. Another, player that has had a good week is Cam Hart out of Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan, but Hart, he's tall, he has good stature, he's really good in press coverage, really good hands. One player that I really think had a rough week was Layden Robinson out of Texas A&M, offensive lineman. It seems like he was leaving his left inside shoulder a little bit vulnerable to inside rushers. He could possibly work on that. So those are my standouts standouts and players that need to improve throughout the week.
No, that's absolutely awesome. Let's see if we can get this extended. Blake, you can grab that for me.
Absolutely.
It's not going to extend too much farther, but
That's right. I can lean in. That's fine.
We got you, Brian. We got you.
All right, perfect. So I'm more of an offensive-minded guy, so I pay a lot more attention to the offense and things all around it. So for me, the main thing I like is running backs. I want a good back in the backfield. It's going to be serviceable for multiple years. To me, my favorite that I saw this weekend with a lot of potential, Dylan Laube out of New Hampshire. He had himself a great practice week. He really showed off when I was doing my scouting report on him, watching his tape from New Hampshire. He showed flashes of what Austin Eckler was for the Chargers in his dual threat ability as a runner and as a receiving back. He put a lot of emphasis into being a receiving back and having that dual threat ability going into the NFL. He might be a mid to late round pick for somebody that's going to do a lot of impact, a lot of damage, make his way into a starting role. If there's one guy who maybe disappointed me, I'm going to go into the receiving court a little bit. I mean, I did interview the guy, but I will say I was a little underwhelmed. Jamari Thrash from Louisville. I felt like there were a couple throws I wish he could have had back. He wasn't getting a lot of separation early on some of the practice weeks. He was doing his moves, running like an out and up and doing everything he had to do to kind of get the natural separation, but he didn't have the blazing speed. He didn't have the proper hips and footwork. And there were things that just like, they weren't bad. It just wasn't at the level where you're going to get that same separation at the NFL. So I'd like to see him have a really good day tomorrow. Again, I think this is a really talented player that I think just needs to benefit from a strong game tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, man. Like, I absolutely love all of your guys' picks, man. All these guys really showed up and showed out this week, man. Cannot wait to watch this game tomorrow, man. I'm getting more and more hyped just talking about it, man. This is going to be a heck of a game that we have, to look forward to tomorrow.
No, yeah, for sure. Guys, like I said, make sure you check this game out tomorrow. We're going to be live on TikTok, kind of showing you the game, commentating, just doing everything for you guys. And hey, we might be joined by some of these guys here if they want to stop by and mess with us. But I just want to give a big thanks to you guys for coming in and stopping by the show, man. Like, seriously, man, you guys are awesome. Let's get together
Thank you
again.
guys so much for coming on, man.
Like, we were talking to them about maybe doing like a draft especial together, or something like that. So we'll definitely do some stuff down the line. Now, I know it seemed like we were leaving you guys, but I do want to get one more question down, which is, who is one guy that you really want your team to draft that you saw this week?
All right. So, for those who don't know, I'm a New York Jets fan, and the guy that they should take, and emphasize should because they should have taken the same position last year, Talise Fuaga, all right, the right tackle, okay? Guy is very technically sound, gets to his spot really quickly off the line of scrimmage, a massive guy, and I was blessed to interview him. Really good, well-spoken, really good answers in my one-on-one with him, so maybe there's a little bias, but would definitely love him on the New York Jets.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, I could go with the easy one. I could say Jackson Powers Johnson, because the Giants have talked with him. But I'm gonna go.
No, that should be okay.
I'm gonna go a different route.
Pitcher too. Yeah.
I'm gonna go a different route, and I'm gonna say this guy really hasn't been talked about this entire week. He's a running back for the American team. I've had my eyes on him since I've done his scouting report. Dejan Edwards, the running back from Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's a lot of different things right now going out, and about Saquon Barkley, whether he's going to resign with the Giants or not. And Dejan Edwards is a really shifty back. He's a good pass protector. He knows how to read the gaps. He's elusive. He's the guy I want on the Giants, especially if Saquon doesn't come back.
Yeah.
I was finishing up. Dejan Edwards, running back, real shifty, good pass protector, reads the gaps really well. Especially if Saquon doesn't come back, I want him as a New York Giant at the end of the day.
That's a great pick. I love the way he did this week.
He looked really good.
I also got to share my sentiments with my friend John here. I got to say Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. Technically
Are you
sound.
the Jets fan too?
Yeah, we're both Jet fans.
So it's obviously a tackle needed
offensive
team.
line. It has to be offensive line. We need to protect Aaron Rodgers. Fuaga's the most technically sound. I doubt Fashanu is available. I doubt Joe Alt's available. Fuaga's the third best. And obviously I do think maybe there are teams that can trade up for him, but the Jets really need to keep an eye out for Fuaga.
That's a great pick.
All right, well, for Tampa Bay, there's a lot of things they could look at. If they don't get Mike Evans back, who's now commanding $25 to $30 million, and Baker Mayfield wants $40 million, they can't pay both guys. It's going to be really hard unless somebody takes a budget cut. So if they go wide receiver, I'd like to see him go after Brendan Rice early in the second round. That would be a really beneficial thing. Get somebody on the outside to work with Godwin, somebody who could play in the X spot, maybe the Y. It would be really good for them. They need some real receiving threats for Baker Mayfield, especially if they go receiver and lose Evans because of the contractual situation. Now, if it wasn't receiver and they had to go somewhere else, I would probably stay on the edge side because there is some edge issues they have right now. Tryon Troyinka not getting a lot of pressure, not a lot of sacks. Shaq Barrett hitting his age gap now. I would definitely say, who was the edge specifically from Kansas this weekend? Austin Booker had himself a monster week. He was beating guys and giving guys a hard time. Actually, no, I take it back. Adisa Isaac, Penn State. That man put Fuaga on skates. He put him on skates in 1v1 drills and was getting to Penix, and he got to Nix both times in the practices. I don't know what he did. He was hidden behind Chop Robinson at Penn State, but this guy can have a big impact for Tampa Bay if they make the draft and they stick with Mike Evans. Whatever it is, it's either Adisa Isaac or Brendan Rice at some point in the second round.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Love the picks, man.
Yeah, like we said, man, we want to thank these guys for coming in and joining the show. They got to go to their table now, enjoy this amazing food and beer and everything. So, yeah, man, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Love
you,
the
bro.
insight.
Always,
So
man.
nice to meet you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
So nice to meet you, man.
It was an absolute pleasure having these guys on the show. Like, these guys know exactly what they're talking about. Make sure you go follow them on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything of the sort, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Live show, so you're gonna get all of our live topics, all of our live talk, and let's just be honest, bro, that was awesome. Like, just
That was so awesome.
like having just some other guys just come in, they shoot a podcast as well, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like, seriously, huge fan of those guys, man. Make sure that you check out those guys' channel. They are Big Blue in the Bronx. They are a great group of guys. Tremendous insight. Great takes that we saw from them. They were talking all things about the New York Jets and the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really giving all those fan bases some insight so that they could, hopefully make their case about, what their team needs and, hopefully what some of the fan bases of those teams, would like to see those teams draft. It was awesome to see that. So really cool seeing that. And like, I'll tell you guys right now, it was awesome. Really enjoyed meeting Luca, Brian, Alex, and John. Tremendous insight into the state of the New York Jets, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the New York Giants. So with that being said, guys, we're going to start to talk all things about the Denver Broncos here. Of course, here on Elevation Sports Podcast, we have got you covered down here in Mobile, in Alabama. We are live here at Walk-Ons, the best damn sports bar. You can come here and get your food, get your drink on, watch your favorite sports teams. We want to thank Wes again for the unbelievable hospitality. If you guys have never been to Walk-Ons, I highly recommend it, man. This is the place to be. It is family friendly. It has got every sport imaginable on TV. They've got you covered here from their food menu to their drink menu. Like I said, family friendly sports bar, absolutely awesome patio. You guys will absolutely love it over here, man. Make sure that you check out Walk-Ons Sports Bistro. So with that being said, we're going to get into the Denver Broncos, everybody. We're going to talk about what Austin and I think the Denver Broncos need to do in this draft to really get them going next season and to really help Sean Payton really thrive and succeed in his second season as the Denver Broncos head coach. We've had some very interesting storylines that we have managed to come across down here. We have seen and heard some very interesting things that I know that Austin is very eager to talk about, and that I'm very eager to talk about. And we are back, man. We are back like Vance Joseph, baby.
You guys want to be on the screen? Hey, shout out Elevation Sports. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much.
Holy shit, bro. Like celebrity.
Yeah. So with that being said, Austin, so I just gave a little bit of a teaser here. I know you and I have been talking about it in our hotel room, but what are some of the hopes and maybe some of the draft scenarios that you would like to see the Denver Broncos do in this draft based on what we have seen this week at the Senior Bowl, man? I know we are chomping at the bit to talk about this, man. What are some of your thoughts and observations that you would like to see the Broncos do?
Man, oh man, oh man. Did you say anything yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. So
You got the floor, my friend.
here. I would put this on this.
Yep.
Put it on the very tip so I can get both of our audio very clearly.
Yep.
That way you don't have to hold it.
Yep.
All right. Man, that's absolutely fantastic. Like, of course, guys, the Denver Broncos absolutely need a quarterback. Now, whether that is, let's say, maybe a Baker Mayfield or a Jameis Winston out of free agency or a Gardner Minshew, let's just say hypothetically, the Denver Broncos go with that decision, right?
Yep.
Let's say that we sign a Jameis Winston out of free agency. The move that I would want the Denver Broncos to make is very clear, and this is it, guys. I would want us to move back from 12 to about 15 or 16. With that, acquire maybe a third-round pick this year, maybe a second-round pick, acquire some more draft capital. My perfect draft scenario, if we cannot get Michael Penix at 12, now, remind you, if we cannot get Michael Penix at 12, this is what I want us to do. Trade back to 15, draft Cooper DeJean, the cornerback out of Iowa, who has absolutely everything necessary to be an elite corner and punt returner at the next level, specifically a zone corner, because some of his man technique, especially on the inside, kind of lacks, but we're hoping that the NFL coaching can kind of, cover that, and they can teach him a little bit. Cooper DeJean at 15, acquire a second-round pick, and take Tavondre Sweat out of Texas with that second-round pick. And to me, that catapults the Denver Broncos into a no-fly zone 2.0 with a Cooper DeJean, Riley Moss, Pat Surtain, and you got a Tavondre Sweat in the middle, clogging up the holes and taking up double teams for guys like Zach Allen, Baron Browning, Jonathan Cooper, and sort. So, we got some people watching. Hey, you guys want anything right here? We got gift card, $10 gift card. $10 gift card. It's free.
Can I use it at any
Today, yeah.
Yeah,
Or you
today
can,
if you want. Yeah.
Or any walk-ins, yeah. Walk-ons. Yeah, of course.
I don't think so, man. Yeah, I don't think so, man.
It's not my fault.
No.
Nah, you can look around too. Like you
You can look around, but I don't see it.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, I'll let him know. Thank you.
Yeah. So that would be my ideal draft scenario. That would be my ideal draft scenario. Is for us to trade back if we can't get Penix, get Cooper DeJean, and Tavondre Sweat.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I love that, Henny. I absolutely love that choice, man. I will have to say that mine is not too far off from that. I would love to see the Broncos maybe stay at 12, and of course, if they can absolutely draft Bo Nix or a Michael Penix Jr., I think that would be a phenomenal selection. I think either one of those quarterbacks would fit Sean Payton's offense with Pete Carmichael and Joe Lombardi. I think that they would absolutely be the ideal and the perfect franchise quarterback for Sean Payton. And I think that
$10 gift card.
we can absolutely take them to the next level and, really see.
Check us out on YouTube as well, Elevation Sports Podcast.
Okay.
We're here covering the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, we drove down from Nashville.
Oh, nice,
awesome,
nice.
man.
Yeah,
Cool.
check us out. We'll connect. Just email me. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So anyway, I would love for the Broncos to do that. However, I would not be opposed to them also trading back in the draft, trading back from 12, pick up a second round, maybe even pick up a additional third or fourth round pick in this year's draft and maybe next year's draft. And also, when they trade back, I would love to see them. This has been one of my favorite prospects that they have had on full display this week. He has really shined this week and really been a standout player also from the defensive line. Jordan Jefferson, the defensive tackle from LSU. He has been another impact interior defensive lineman. The Denver Broncos need a guy who can be that cog in the middle, that can be that interior presence, be that space eater for this Denver Broncos defense in Vance Joseph. And I think that Jordan Jefferson from LSU would be a terrific pick for the Broncos, whether they can get him, like in the second round or the third round. I think he should easily be available there. And then, maybe with that first round pick, maybe, if he can hopefully slide and fall in the draft, take an impact offensive player like a Brock Bowers from Georgia, give our next quarterback a weapon, And a quarterback that I would love for the Broncos to target in the free agency, who I think would be a match made in heaven and a perfect fit for Sean Payton, would be one of his former quarterbacks that he had in New Orleans with him and Pete Carmichael, is Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston paired up with Sean Payton here in Denver, and then if you draft an impact tight end like Brock Bowers that could add to that offense, it would be a tremendous pickup for the Denver Broncos.
Hold it kind of lower.
Yep.
Someone had to step over the corridor.
Okay.
Luckily, they looked.
Okay. Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, that's fantastic, guys. Like, first of all, we're here live at Walk-Ons. This is absolutely fantastic, man.
This is the best damn sports bar that I've been in, man. This is amazing, man. And I wish we had this back in Denver, man.
This is awesome. Right here, guys, I got the fried pickles.
We got boneless wings.
We got the boneless wings.
We got the amazing beer, the Ghost Train Light Lager. Amazing, easy drinking beer, man.
Get some wing. Try the wing, bro. Try the wing. Let us know what you think. Because I got them as a 10 out of 10. They're my favorite boneless wings I've ever had in my life. Like, these Johns is hitting, bro. I don't know.
That is fire right there.
That's fire, bro.
That is fire.
Boneless wings, fried pickles. Guys, what? They got catfish.
They got catfish. They got fried alligator, man. They got everything you need. Shrimp. They got everything, man. They put the South in your mouth, bro.
No homo.
For real. It is delicious food, man. This stuff is absolutely awesome, man.
That's yours. That's yours. Hey, what else you want? Hey.
We're going tomorrow.
You're going tomorrow to the game?
Yep.
Awesome.
Over the radio station, so we're doing VIP with the radio station.
Nice.
Tailgate.
Nice. Yeah. We'll be over there at the tailgate.
Radio.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of that
I've been
one.
hearing y'all jamming.
Oh, thank you so much. If you want, check us out on YouTube or something. Just take one of the business cards, and we're on YouTube and we're live on TikTok as well right now. So check us out, and I mean, we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Yes.
Hey, we'll be tailgating.
Oh yeah, we'll
Awesome.
be there. We'll be there.
Hey, I'm taking this for you because at 12 o'clock one of them's going to go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really hungry.
Oh,
There you go.
enjoy. Man, this week has been absolutely amazing, man.
Like
This
you guys heard from
best
her,
experience.
we're rocking out, man. They're listening everywhere we are. They are loving the content. They're loving everything, man. So let's go ahead and keep it going, man.
Yeah, man.
Who was not here from the Denver Broncos this week?
Oh, we did not see George Payton while we were down here. However, we did confirm and we did find out from very credible and very direct sources. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you. That, in fact, Kelly Klein and Doug Mogie from the Denver Broncos were down here this week. So with that being said, it was very, very interesting that we did not see George Payton. George Payton was not around, the practices at all.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that, by the way, Henny? I thought that was very, very interesting information that we found out this week.
Not only do I think it's worrisome, but I wonder why George Payton isn't here. Like, why do you think it's not as important for you to be here as the general manager of the team? Does he have that much belief in his scouts? Does he have that much belief in his film watching? Does he not think that the Senior Bowl is important? Or is he not targeting any seniors at all?
Yeah.
Those are the things that are flowing through my head, and yeah, man. Hey, you guys want anything from the table, man? A little koozie?
Pretty swag. So anyway, yeah, Henny, I just think it's really, really curious because I know that's been a big hot button topic back home oh, jeez.
Oh, that wing a little spicy.
That wing getting a little spicy. Excuse me. Oh, man, for real. That has been a hot button issue back in Denver, back home regarding the Broncos. is the job security of George Paton and the fact that we haven't seen him here this week. And we all know this about George Paton. He has been notoriously known as being a tried and true NFL scout and a true and a very credible and like very legit talent evaluator. So it has been very curious to hear that kind of information, and then like finding out, of course, that obviously that Kelly Klein obviously interviewed for the Las Vegas Raiders general manager job, which obviously we all know now that she did not get that job. That job obviously went to Tom Telesco from the Los Angeles Chargers. And so she is still with the Denver Broncos, and so is Doug Mogie, who is the head of the player like of the pro personnel and college scouting. So it's very, very, very interesting, the information that we have gathered this week. I think that maybe George Paton and maybe Sean Payton are just, doing things remotely, and like perhaps they're, they are entrusting Kelly Klein and Doug Mogie to gather this information for them and to bring it back to the Broncos as well as the Broncos scouts. So very curious though, because we did see some very high profile general managers while we were here. We absolutely saw Ryan Poles from the Chicago Bears. Yeah. He was definitely here on hand this week for the practices. Sure. And then on top of that, we saw Nick Caserio from the Houston Texans. He was here all week taking in the practices, observing everything, and we even saw some very high profile former and current college football coaches here. We saw Brian Kelly from LSU. We saw Jed Fish, the newly hired head coach for the Washington Huskies. So very, very interesting, just the different people that we've observed this week here at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, and especially don't forget, Andrew Berry from Cleveland.
Yes, Andrew Berry from the Cleveland Browns. We were right next to him this week. He was definitely taking in the practices very closely. So
yeah, you can tell like who was eyeing players here and who wasn't. And as sad as it is to say, the Denver Broncos might not have been eyeing anyone very hardly at the Senior Bowl, because George Paton, in my opinion, would have been here. I think that George Paton, if he was serious about any of these players here, he would have been here. And maybe I'm wrong, but especially a quarterback, right? Like if he was seriously about Bo Nix or, Michael Penix Jr., or even a Sam Hartman, Joe Milton of the sorts, like, oh, thank you so sorry. No, you're all good, bro. He would be here, in my opinion. If you want to get the ins and the outs about a guy, you got to meet him. That's me. What do you think?
No, yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a very curious decision by George Paton not to be here live at the Senior Bowl. I don't know if maybe the Broncos are starting to change up maybe how that they are doing things structurally with the scouting and with the organization, because we have seen in the past that George Paton is a very active general manager. He loves to be on site and scout in person. We obviously saw last year he did attend some very high profile, very notable games for the Colorado Buffaloes, scouting some players, doing that. And then also, as we saw on the Broncos YouTube show last year, that he traveled with Kelly Klein, with Doug Mogie, and went to all these different pro days. So maybe George likes to be more hands-on with the pro days, and maybe at the scouting combine he will be more prevalent. I think maybe he's just giving some additional opportunities and responsibilities for Kelly Klein and for Doug Mogie. And I think, obviously we know now that Kelly Klein is a aspiring NFL general manager, so maybe he wanted to give her some opportunities to, do some additional in-person scouting and take on some more responsibilities and to directly report back to George Paton and Sean Payton. So we'll see what happens, though. I'm not too worried about it as a Broncos fan.
I'm not here for that, though, bro. I'm not here for some fucking tryout from a wannabe general manager. I'm here for my general manager to improve my football team. You know what I mean? I'm not here for none of that, bro. That's ridiculous to me. If you want to get the evaluation, you come yourself. You've sent your scouts all year long. You come and you figure it out yourself, man.
Yep.
That's what's been frustrating to me.
Yeah, man, absolutely, and that's very fair criticism. So I guess we'll find out. Like as soon as we get back to Denver, we may hear some more things as soon as we get back home. But I know we have definitely found out some very interesting information that we cannot share live on the air. But rest assured, Broncos country.
Off the record.
Yeah. Rest assured, Broncos country. We have more eyes here than what you may or may not be aware of, and it is going to be awesome to see what the Broncos do on draft day. I am very confident, though, that the Denver Broncos, George Paton and Sean Payton will get it right, and that without a doubt, Greg Penner has assembled the right people to get this team, getting this team going in the right direction again.
No, for sure. And guys, before we get into our Senior Bowl preview, my boy Bronco Blake has some NFL news to share with us that has kind of been broken along the week that we have been a little bit preoccupied at being at the Senior Bowl and covering the Senior Bowl. So these are things that we have not been able to discuss yet that we are going to discuss right now.
Yeah, so as I'm sure that some of you may or may not have been aware of, but in case you haven't, we have had a lot of really exciting NFL breaking news while we've been down here at the Senior Bowl. We've had a lot of movement with head coaching hires and hiring of assistant coaches. Most notably, though, we have had the Seattle Seahawks hire former Michigan defensive coordinator and Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald. So, Henny, I got to ask you, we have seen the Seattle Seahawks over the years with Pete Carroll. We all know Pete Carroll has been this meticulous and very methodical head coach, and he's done a masterful job usually assembling some tremendous like coaching staffs with some very high-profile names on it, such as a Dan Quinn, most notably, and some other very good assistants. What do you think about this hire from the Seattle Seahawks, which kind of tipped to us that maybe they're going younger and more innovative at head coach? What do you think about that hire?
Yeah, man. I think it's really interesting because obviously the Baltimore Ravens statistically have the number one defense in the league in every category, right? And so I think, man, it's real interesting. I don't think that he's not ready for this position, but he's a young guy. He's 36 years old. He's a lot younger than a Pete Carroll. And it's going to be a change of culture, and it's going to be a change of pace for a lot of those guys that are used to the way Pete Carroll does things, that are used to the way that Pete Carroll coaches. And I think that the biggest impact that this makes on the Seattle Seahawks is for a guy like Geno Smith, right? You knew that Pete Carroll believed in you. You knew that Pete Carroll gave you the best, gave you the best opportunity to be a starter in this league. But with a guy like Mike Macdonald coming in, you don't know what his vision is. You don't know what he wants out of his quarterback. You don't know what he sees in you as a player. So I think that the guy that should be most worried right now is Geno Smith.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I thought it was really interesting that the Seattle Seahawks went as very, young and innovative as they did, hiring Mike Macdonald. But at the same time, it really doesn't surprise me at all that they went with, once again, a, very young, very bright, very exciting young defensive-minded coach in Mike Macdonald. We saw what he did these past couple of years with the Baltimore Ravens. We know what he did with Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. I mean, he is a young, up-and-coming star in the coaching ranks. I'm very, very excited to see what he does with the Seattle Seahawks. So it was, without a doubt, a big surprise to myself and you and everyone else included, because we really thought Dan Quinn was going to be the slam dunk hire for the Seattle Seahawks. But as we found out only a few short hours later, the very next day, that Dan Quinn became the next head coach of the Washington Commanders. I think this is a very fascinating hire. Clearly, Josh Harris really loved what he saw and what he heard from Dan Quinn. What do you think about this hire by Josh Harris, the newest owner in the NFL, and the Washington Commanders hiring Dan Quinn?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. When you look at that and you say, for one, it's interesting that Dan Quinn is not the Seattle Seahawks head coach right
I
now.
know. It's still like I still got to pinch myself and be like, wait, what? They didn't pick Dan Quinn?
Yeah, and you know, that's where I really want to know, and hopefully we can talk to some GMs tomorrow or some scouts or, you know, some personnel tomorrow and see if that was really a Dan Quinn decision or a Seattle Seahawks decision.
Exactly, because maybe there's more than what we know and more than what meets the eye.
Yeah, like maybe Dan Quinn didn't like the roster. Maybe he didn't like the cap space. Maybe he didn't like the draft capital. Maybe he didn't like the things that he saw from Seattle. But maybe Seattle didn't like the things that they saw from Quinn. Maybe they thought that Quinn was maybe more of a replica of a, you know, Pete Carroll, that they didn't want to go in that direction. So I'm really interested to see. But to your point, the reaction for me of Washington hiring Dan Quinn,
I know. It's
very interesting. And, you know, to say the least, like, Dan Quinn is definitely a great defensive mind. He's definitely a great defensive coach. And, you know, I don't know if I necessarily liked his last tenure as a head coach, but it's undeniable that he did some impressive things, right? He did do what he was there to do in Atlanta. And so my thing is I'm glad he got another chance, but he's really got to make it different, and he's really got to excel, because he doesn't have Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator anymore. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that innovative offense that he did in Atlanta. So I'm really interested to see what he does with Washington, with the quarterback situation, and with that offense, because, you know, they have a lot of talent and they have a lot of weapons. And I'm also interested to see if he keeps, what's the name on board?
Sam Howell.
No, the offensive coordinator.
Oh, Eric Bieniemy.
I'm really interested to see if he keeps Eric Bieniemy on board as his offensive coordinator, or if he goes in and brings in his own guy. And another, to piggyback off of that, it's going to be interesting to see if Eric Bieniemy goes back to the Chiefs, if not retained by Washington and Dan Quinn.
Absolutely love that, man. Yeah, man. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see what Dan Quinn does, because obviously we all know what he did with the Atlanta Falcons and the tremendous coaching staff that he assembled there. Of course, most notably, he had Kyle Shanahan as his offensive coordinator, you know, when they had the epic Super Bowl collapse against the New England Patriots. So I cannot wait to see what he does with this coaching staff, and if he makes a huge effort to retain Eric Bieniemy as his offensive coordinator. There's just been a lot of movement across the league, like I mentioned earlier. But I think this hire by Washington clearly signifies to me that Josh Harris really listened to what was being said out there about Dan Quinn being very deserving of a second chance and another opportunity to be a head coach. And I think that Dan Quinn, in his second stint as a head coach, will be very successful. I think he will get Washington going in the right direction. And it'll be very, very interesting to see what they do at quarterback, if they stick with Sam Howell or if they move on from Sam Howell, and if they get both a new quarterback and a new offensive coordinator, because they have, like you just alluded to earlier, Henny, they have so many great weapons on that offense. They have, obviously, we all know Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thomas, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, and Jahan Dotson. They have weapons galore on that offense, so there is just so much talent and so much potential for that offense. They obviously lost this year Chase Young in a trade to the 49ers, so they're going to have to retool that defense a little bit. They have some tremendous playmakers in Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, obviously, and so we will have to see what Dan Quinn does to help retool that defense and get that defense back to where it once was just a short time ago. So yeah, man, I'm really excited to see what Dan Quinn is going to do under this new ownership group with Josh Harris and, you know, with the Washington Commanders. So with that being said, we're going to get to our next huge head coaching hire, which was a very interesting one, because I think everybody had their eyes on the Carolina Panthers and what Dave Tepper was going to do, you know, with hiring their next head coach. And he went very young and very innovative and a rising star in the coaching ranks also.
You believe so? You believe
Yes.
You are a very believer in this guy.
I do. And I was exactly about to say that. I did a lot of homework on this guy, Broncos country, because I thought this guy may have been a potential sleeper to either be a head coach for the Broncos even before they hired Sean Payton after they fired Nathaniel Hackett, and or maybe be a potential strong candidate to be offensive coordinator along with Brian Schottenheimer being a former assistant from Seattle also. Dave Canales was announced as the new head coach for the Carolina Panthers. We all saw what he did in Seattle with Russ as the quarterbacks coach under Shane Waldron and Pete Carroll there. And then what he did this year as the offensive coordinator and play caller for Todd Bowles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had a resurgent year. We all know, Henny, how much you and I have just been absolutely gushing over Baker Mayfield's comeback year. There is no question he should win comeback player of the year this year. So with that being said, man, what are your thoughts on Dave Tepper going with Dave Canales as that new head coach for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I gotta say, first of all, guys, I just turned the mic on for the YouTube content. That's ugly.
Okay.
That's disappointing. But, guys,
we'll be all right.
I forgot that. Anyways. Dave Canales, I think that, hear me out. The reason that this was, good catch. Messy hands.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that this was a good hire. I don't necessarily categorize this as a great hire, just because we don't know, right? Just like the same thing with Mike McDaniel in Miami, and just all these young, innovative offensive coaches. At the end of the day, you just don't know, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that this hire was made for simply one reason and one reason alone. It's because Dave Canales was a big part of Russell Wilson's jump from a good NFL quarterback to an amazing NFL quarterback. And I think that the Carolina Panthers and Dave Tepper are expecting Dave Canales to do that to Bryce Young. And the reason why is because both are smaller frame quarterbacks with an ability to be mobile and a arm that can make every throw possible. And so I think Dave Canales has the experience and has the resume to allow a smaller frame quarterback to thrive in his systems, and that he knows how to exercise those quarterbacks to their maximum potential. And so I think that is the singular reason why this hire was made, was to simply put Bryce Young in the stratosphere of these other quarterbacks that are of smaller stature, such as Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, and it goes on and on. So I think that's why this hire was made.
Yeah, man, absolutely agree with you, man. I think it was a phenomenal hire by Dave Tepper. I know, that we have kind of seen, just in his short tenure as owner that, Dave Tepper has been very, very controversial, and, the unfortunate demise of Frank Reich.
Unfortunate? The boy sucks.
Hey, man,
Hey, I'm not going to lie, bro.
Anybody losing their job, it's kind of, it's rough, but...
Don't suck. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Hey, if you got fired tomorrow, nobody's going to feel sympathetic for you if you sucked. Right?
It's true.
You got to do your job, and you got to do it to an exceptional level and beyond. And that's not what Frank Reich did in Indianapolis, and that's why he was let go in the middle of the season.
Yep.
And it's not what he did in Carolina, and that's why he was let go before the middle of the season. So I just don't understand why the hire was made of Frank Reich in Carolina in the first place.
Yep.
And I think that it was a great decision by David Tepper to understand that a mistake was made in the hire of Frank Reich and try to make it right by hiring a guy like David Canales. And so we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We will certainly see what he can do with Bryce Young. He did a terrific job with Russell Wilson, like you said, in Seattle as the quarterback's coach, and then just this past year, what he did as offensive coordinator for Baker Mayfield, I think it was a great choice. And with that being said, going forward, though, we got some really interesting news today, Henny. Some big-time breaking news. I wish that we still had Brian here from Big Blue in the Bronx, because we had some big breaking news today from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Center Ryan Jensen has retired and is hanging it up. So I got to know what your thoughts are on that, man.
Yeah, man. Great career. Somebody who didn't come out as a highly touted center in the draft. Someone who didn't come out as a top draft pick, but has made himself a very all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber center in this league, who unfortunately in 2022 had a very misfortunate injury and just hasn't been able to be the same player since. And I don't even know if he's played since then. So, you know, as sad as it is for him to hang it up, like I just congratulate his career. And, you know, he's a Super Bowl champion, he's a Pro Bowler, he's an all-pro, and, you know, he's going to live with that for the rest of his life. And I hope that he has a great venture, you know, after football.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And there is no question, Ryan Jensen, who is a former...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, we have... they're gone. Oh, they're not gone? Uh-oh.
Go for it.
Yeah, take it.
Take advantage of it.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Great, how y'all doing?
Good. You work here?
Yes, sir.
Hey, awesome, bro. Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, what's your name?
Xavier.
Hey, say what's up to the fans, man.
What's up?
Hey, we're Elevation Sports Podcast, man. We're here covering the Senior Bowl from Colorado, actually. So, man, anything you got to say about the Senior Bowl? Any of the players? You know anybody?
All I gotta say is the boys from 251, they know what I'm talking about. They're gonna put on the show. And it's where the athletes at, where the dogs at, Mobile, Alabama.
Hey, man.
Get to know them.
Let's go.
Instagram, Twitter, anything you want to shout out, bro?
Shoot, follow me on Instagram at Xavier A. Mitchell. You know, give me a follow. I appreciate it. And I'm probably, y'all gonna see me on the field real soon. Everything working the right way.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Come here, sit down. How so, bro? How we gonna see you on the field? When?
First, I gotta get my academics back right. Then after that, transfer, probably South Walk-On, and do what I do.
Yeah? What grade are you?
Sophomore.
In college?
So
where you go now?
I go to Bishop State. I go to community college downtown.
Nice. Nice, man. So, what position do you play?
I play DB.
DB?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, are you more of an outside corner, a safety, or a nickel corner? What do you do?
Honestly, I can play whatever, but I'm more of a safety.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Hey, listen, man. We're Elevation Sports. We're gonna be here for you know, until about Sunday night. I want you to take the card, bro. If you want to set up any type of interview, just email me, and we'll set something up, bro. We'll definitely try to help you get on the map and maybe transfer where you want to go, bro. So definitely send me some tape, email me, bro, and we'll kind of do some business ventures going forward, bro.
Cool.
Yeah,
Appreciate
nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet y'all.
So nice to meet you, man. I'm Blake. Very nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, bro. Hey, good luck, bro. Hey,
take care, Xavier. Best of luck.
Work hard, bro.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, that was awesome. Ryan Jensen was a phenomenal player at CSU Pueblo, former Thunderwolf, as we all know, back from the Mile High City, from the Centennial State, had a phenomenal career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was deeply saddened to see that he was going to hang it up and retire. He was so integral to the success for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for as long as he's been there. And I know that Tom Brady can attest to that too, baby, the GOAT. And Ryan Jensen, hell of a player. And right now, it looks like we're going to have two possible Hall of Fame caliber centers retiring, with now Jason Kelce from the Philadelphia Eagles potentially hanging it up, and now Ryan Jensen now from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Hell of a career, and a mile-high salute to you, Ryan Jensen. Really enjoyed watching you play, man. And he's been a phenomenal player.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. What other news do we have around the league?
Yeah, man. So I think this is something that has kind of been recently new, so I'll let you touch on this a little bit more. But I guess we have been hearing that UCLA head coach Chip Kelly is being eyed by several NFL teams.
Yes, guys. So right now, Chip Kelly is being eyed by multiple NFL teams and head coaches to be their next offensive coordinator, with his innovative offense and his amazing offensive style that combines like a heavy run game with a very, very nice and vertical passing game. And so here's the reason why, guys. You're going to see a lot of these college football head coaches be considered for more of a coordinator position or a head coaching position in the NFL because their interests are now peaked due to the NIL money and the new system of college football. A lot of these coaches have not only been turned off by the new system of the college football ways, but they are actively and schematically trying to leave college football as we speak, such as a Jim Harbaugh has already done this year. And I think that Chip Kelly is next on the move with the potential reunition with the Philadelphia Eagles and Nick Sirianni. I think that we could be seeing that sooner than later.
Yeah, man, that would be a heck of a reunion if Chip Kelly, could possibly be reunited with the Eagles. However, we did see that Kellen Moore was hired as the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator.
Was he?
Yeah. So
Wow.
maybe
Kellen Moore.
Maybe because the San Francisco 49ers, might be losing some more assistants this offseason, maybe a potential reunion with the San Francisco 49ers might be on the horizon. I don't know if Kyle Shanahan would maybe be up for that, but, you never know. We saw that he gave a chance to Steve Wilkes, the former Arizona Cardinals head coach, to become the defensive coordinator, and he, has flourished there in San Francisco. So who knows? I mean, you never really know. We've seen some shocking moves with these assistants and these head coaches making these moves, forming their staffs, which leads into our next one, which Bill Callahan, the former Oakland Raiders head coach back in the Super Bowl in 2002, has been hired to join his son, Brian Callahan, with the Tennessee Titans to be the offensive line coach. I thought that was, pretty interesting, but also kind of expected. So,
Of course.
So we'll see what Bill Callahan can do with his son Brian in Tennessee, and then. Yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, that's as expected. That's very interesting, and I'm glad to see, him join his son in Tennessee, and I think that will only be, good for his son, and I don't think it hurts. You know what I mean? I think that is a positive, and I think that Tennessee should definitely expect to have a way better high-volume offense, and I think that they should expect to be targeting offensive players this draft, specifically wide receivers. And I think that Tennessee is a team that you could see draft a wide receiver in not only the first round, but maybe a later round as well.
Yeah.
I think that a guy like a Xavier Legette or a guy like a Brendan Rice is someone that you could definitely look for on the Tennessee Titans radar because they probably remind them of a A.J. Brown, of a guy that they had lost out on a couple years ago by trading him away. So I think that they are definitely a guy. I think that Brian Callahan is definitely a guy who was ready and poised for a head coaching job, and I'm really glad to see that his dad is joining.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we also had a very, kind of shocking other additional breaking news that happened also. Nick Foles, the former wide receiver for the Colorado Buffaloes back in 2006, who has been a part of the Houston Texans coaching staff, was hired as the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans also. And I think that was a very interesting move also, clearly signifying that Brian Callahan is really working on trying to get this offense right with the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, and I think that it leads to all roads that he is trying to not only make this offense right and work, but I think that Will Levis will be the guy moving forward for Tennessee because, bringing in a guy like Brian Callahan who is used to coaching a guy like a Joe Burrow, who reminds me of a lot of Will Levis because, you think about it, they are semi-mobile guys with almost picture-perfect accuracy and really good arms. And, Will Levis and Joe Burrow kind of remind me of each other a lot. And I think that I think it's all good things, man. I think it's all good signs for Tennessee. And unfortunately, they're going to lose Derrick Henry. but they got Tyjae Spears, and hopefully maybe drafting a guy in the later rounds, such as Isaiah Davis or Vidal or you know Loeb, you know what I mean?
Yep.
New Hampshire. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so with that being said, Henny, we have had a lot of fun after the practices, just going back to the hotel room, getting some work done, and watching the Pro Bowl skills competition, man. We have seen Marvin Mims, Justin Simmons, and PS2 representing the Denver Broncos. What have been some of your thoughts so far from watching the boys, you know, compete in the Pro Bowl skills competition out there in Sin City in Las Vegas?
Yeah, first of all, man, I gotta say, like, the high stakes competition with the punt returning was absolutely the best competition at the skills competition this year. I love seeing those guys, you know, be creative and try to catch as many punts as they could. But one thing I gotta say is Marvin Mims Jr. was absolutely screwed, man. He got screwed over of winning that high stakes competition because they punted the ball too short and he didn't want to go up and get it. He should have gotten another opportunity to catch a ball, to be up there with Jordan Killebrew, who, first of all...
Miles Killebrew,
who made an amazingly athletic
Oh, my
play.
God.
Oh, my gosh.
Miles Killebrew has been spectacular in the Pro Bowl skills competition. Shout out to him.
And, you know, it is coincidental because that is why he is here at the Pro Bowl, is because of his special teams ability. So it's really good to see that he won, but I would have liked to see Marvin Mims win. I think Justin Simmons performed well. I think he had an interesting thing that he did where he put the ball in between
his legs, which was gutsy, man.
But, you know, Marvin Mims followed that up and tried to do the same thing. Hey, bro, you want anything, bro? Hey,
Free koozie, man.
Yeah. You know, and Marvin Mims followed that up and tried the exact same thing, and it ended up not working out for him. But yeah, shout out to Miles Killebrew, man, and you know, just that skills competition was so fun to watch. You know, Baker Mayfield ended up winning the passing precision.
Oh my God, Baker Mayfield put on a passing clinic.
Oh yeah, he did, man, and he showed other teams that if the Buccaneers don't
that he is
sign
for
me,
real,
that you could sign me.
He is for real.
Shout out to Denver. Maybe you guys can go sign him. Anyways, yeah, man, like, you know.
So did Gardner Minshew, by the way.
Gardner Minshew did okay.
Looked pretty good.
CJ Stroud did amazing, but you know, the dodgeball is always fun. I think they changed it up a little bit this year. They did the AFC offense versus the NFC defense, the NFC offense versus the AFC defense. As we all saw, the NFC ended up being the victors. But yeah, it was just super fun. The, you know, best catch thing with Puka Nacua and David Njoku was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And, you know, the long snapping competition with a guy like Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, man.
Points.
Yeah, no, that was shocking, man.
Like, it was definitely interesting to see, man, and it was a fun time. You know, as much as we don't like here at Elevation Sports the necessarily flag football format that they've done for the game, I definitely enjoy this, like, skills competition that they brought back from the older days. And it's definitely a breath of fresh air. We just want the game back.
No, exactly. Absolutely, man. And, yeah, no, I hope that, you know, they can find a way to make the game happen. I've had so many good memories of watching the game, you know, like growing up. And so I hope that they find a way to bring the game back. I think the game, you know, has a lot of importance and a lot of significance to the Pro Bowl experience. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. And so now, real quick, can you check the time for us, Blake? What time is it now?
What time is it? Let's see. 9:37.
9:37, guys. We are closing in on maybe our last 23 minutes of the show, man. We're going to end here around 10.
Yeah.
Kind of wrap it up. And,
Yep.
You know, but we just want to thank everybody here at the Walk-Ons Bar and everybody back at home in Colorado for giving us some love and support. If
Absolutely.
anybody's in here right now, man, make sure you guys shout yourself out. We really appreciate it. And yeah, everybody here in Mobile, man, it's been a fantastic trip.
Yeah, man, we've had a lot of fun here, man. This has been amazing.
Fantastic time. Shout out to Jim Nagy for putting on an amazing event in the Senior Bowl. And you know, let's before we get into our Senior Bowl preview, let's have a discussion about the Denver Broncos. Like, let's be honest, we've been here, you know. What is one or two guys that you have seen here at the Senior Bowl this week that you need the Denver Broncos to draft?
For me, I'll tell you right now, man, if there is anybody that the Denver Broncos have got to have their eyes on and that they have got to be finding a way to draft here at the Senior League, I am not joking when I say this. T'Vondre Sweat, the nose tackle from Texas, has been absolutely lights out. He has been sensational. He has been phenomenal. He has been absolutely unstoppable this entire week during the Senior Bowl practices. He reminds me of a Haloti Ngata, a Phil Taylor, a Terrence Cody, an absolutely dominant space eater at nose tackle who can absolutely just blow up the interior of an offensive line, collapse the pocket, get after the quarterback as a pass rusher, and absolutely stop the run, making tackles for loss in the backfield. My guy, T'Vondre Sweat from Texas, the nose tackle, has been a absolutely dominant player this week. So impressive watching him.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like gosh, like,
Beast.
Gosh, man. And you know, for me, like I got a two-part answer. You know, like the first part is just who I want to draft, like universally, and that's gotta be, man. Like guys, if you guys would have seen us, we made a lot of connections with these players, so it's really hard to say like one guy in particular, but Marshawn Lloyd, man. Like, if you were to give me one choice, it would be Marshawn Lloyd to come to Denver, to be our dynamic, all-purpose running back, and to just be able to take over a game and just be an athletic freak for the Denver Broncos at running back. But my situational piece is this: if the Denver Broncos decide to move forward with Garrett Bowles, I would absolutely love, I would salivate at the pick of Patrick Paul, the left tackle from Houston, who's not only a phenomenal pass blocker, a phenomenal run blocker, a phenomenal athlete, and has explosive power, but he is by far one of the best human beings that will be walking into the NFL this year. I would love that pick, and I think that he would bring everything the Denver Broncos would need at left tackle if we were to move on from a Garrett Bowles.
Yeah, man, I love those two picks. So since you gave two, I'm going to give one more. My guy that I have been so impressed with by this week, and I just think that he would be a match made in heaven with the Denver Broncos, and I think he would be an instant impact player, is Bo Nix, the quarterback from Oregon. He looked so good this week. He really, crossed off every box for me, and he confirmed all the things that I really, really.
What's up, man? Oh yeah. Oh, gift cards. We might have been out. They took them all, man. Yeah,
we ran out, man. I'm sorry.
What's your name? Quan. Nice to meet you. Austin, bro. Elevation Sports, man.
Quan, very nice to meet you. I'm Blake. Very nice to meet you, man. Very nice to meet you, man.
Our gift card, not gift card, but our card. We got our YouTube and everything there. If you want to check us out, we're a podcast.
Y'all here in Mobile?
So we're in Denver, man.
Yeah, but we're out here.
Really?
Yeah.
We're out here covering the Senior Bowl. So any Senior Bowl content, we got exclusive interviews with Michael Penix and Hartman, a ton of dudes. So check us out on YouTube, man.
I will, bro. Thank you.
Love your suit and getup, man. Like you look fresh to death, bro. Like seriously, man. You look awesome, man.
Somebody worried about our Mercedes, come see Quan.
Hey, Quan, hey, what'd you say? Where at?
I'm Quan Bone, work at Mercedes-Benz in Mobile, Alabama.
Yes, where can we check you out at? What's the location?
We're on Dolphin Street, 3060 Dolphin Street, Mobile, Alabama, 360006.
Nice, perfect, man. We'll definitely have them come check you out, bro.
Awesome.
We got a lot of fans out here as well,
Absolutely.
so you might be seeing some come your way.
Absolutely, man. No, thank you so much, Quan. Appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Awesome, man. Yeah, so with that being said, man, Bo Nix, to me, I know everybody back home in Denver and back there in Broncos country is dying to know which quarterback has looked the most impressive this week. I know early on, Michael Penix obviously showed up and showed out, but Bo Nix made a resurgent comeback those second and third practices and looked really good, made some big-time throws, and really showcased not only that elite arm talent, but showcased that football IQ, that rapid mental processing, and throwing with anticipation, throwing with timing and rhythm, and just really looked more comfortable that second and third day, operating in that pocket with tremendous pocket presence and just great overall footwork and mechanics. You can tell that he's really been working on that. And so I mean, Bo Nix, if the Denver Broncos are looking at a franchise quarterback, I think Bo Nix would be a perfect selection for Sean Payton.
Yeah, man, let's go ahead and look ahead at this Senior Bowl preview, man. What are you expecting? What are some guys that you expect to show out and show up? And what is your game prediction?
Without a doubt, man, I am going to tell everybody this right now. Do not be surprised if we see a big-time performance from the tight end from Penn State, who made a lot of flashy plays this week and looked really, really good, catching passes and being an impact inline blocking tight end. Theo Johnson from Penn State looked absolutely tremendous. I cannot
thank you so much.
Wait to see him tomorrow during the game. I think he is really going to show up on everyone's radar tomorrow. I cannot wait to watch Theo Johnson from Penn State.
That's fantastic, man. Yeah, man. And, just to piggyback off of what I said, earlier, it's got to be these running backs for me because we've been able to evaluate at a very high level every other position but the running back position. And what's up? We're still going. We'll see you tomorrow, right?
At the Senior Bowl.
We'll see you tomorrow. Tailgate.
I don't know what station you with.
We're with everybody. Elevation Sports. Come here.
We're independent.
We're independent.
Really?
Yes. We're here from Colorado. Check out Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything in the store. Yes, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, no, I will keep you listening.
All right, we'll come by and stop by.
Take care.
We got a fan, you know what I mean?
Hey.
We got a new fan. But listen,
That's fine, that's cool.
No, for real, it's got to be these running backs for me, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these running backs tomorrow at the Senior Bowl. Because we've been able to evaluate these guys at a very high level on every position but the running backs because the practices are not full contact. They are not even really half contact. So, we've been able to see the one-on-ones with the offense and defensive linemen. We've been able to see the one-on-ones with the corners and the receivers, the linebackers and the safeties and the running backs and tight ends. But one thing we have not been able to see is if these running backs' ball carry vision, elusiveness, break tackle ability translates from the film to the field. So I'm really excited to see a guy like Ray Davis from Kentucky and see if what we saw in the tape can be implicated in the game on Saturday, as well as Isaiah Davis from South Dakota State, because me and you really enjoyed his film. We really liked his ball carry vision, his one-cut ability, some would say, as I would say, his two-cut ability to be able to boom, boom, right? But our question was his top-end speed. Does his top-end speed, is it fast, right?
Exactly.
What is his 40 time? What will his top-end speed look like in the NFL? And I think tomorrow will be a really good showcase for us to see if he has that ability.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Really, really looking forward to watching Isaiah Davis tomorrow and see what kind of impact he can have on the game tomorrow. And yeah, man, I'm just really, really, really excited about this game overall. I think that there were a lot of guys that we've touched on, and then another guy that I'm really intrigued by that I know kind of really started to make a really kind of noticeable impact towards the end of the week was the offensive tackle from Texas, Christian Jones. He looked really, really good in the one-on-one drills and really showed me a lot of just elite characteristics from a ideal offensive tackle. So Christian Jones just showed outstanding hand placement, just great arm extension, really being able to lock up on dudes and really mirror pass rushers. And then on top of that, really get in and out of the stance very rapidly, very quickly, and just operating smoothly with tremendous hip fluidity and that very quick, rapid kick step and just looked really, really good, taking on some of these more premier edge defenders that we've seen here throughout the week, such as a Alabama Chris Braswell, who's looked also really, really good this week. Just locking those guys up one-on-one. Christian Jones, the offensive tackle from Texas, is a guy that I'm very, very excited to see tomorrow also.
He's a right tackle, right?
Yes, he is a right tackle.
Yeah, man. And so, let's just, hey, tell me if you disagree with this, right? Mm-hmm. We completely expect... Hey.
Free beer koozie, some free swag if you guys want.
That's for you, brother. Hey,
beans, man.
Get us to the pops or something. Yes, sir. Hey, also, hey, buddy.
Thank you.
So, I firmly believe that. Here, tell me if you disagree. National team starting quarterback will be Bo Nix. Second quarterback, Michael Penix. Third quarterback, Sam Hartman.
Absolutely.
The American team should start with Spencer Rattler.
Yep.
Joe Milton.
Yep.
Michael Pratt. And Bradley Cooper.
AKA Carter Bradley.
And so I firmly believe that is how this game is going to go, and I think that is who is going to be not only starting but put out there in that order. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that should absolutely be the pecking order for the starting quarterbacks. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I'm really intrigued to see what the American team quarterbacks look like, specifically Spencer Rattler. Yeah. I know he is a very hot button, very controversial college football prospect down here for the Senior Bowl. Can't wait to see what Spencer Rattler does with this opportunity on this big stage tomorrow.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so, with that being said, let's go ahead and give our game picks for tomorrow. Who do we think is going to win not only the game, but the MVP award?
I think that the national team is going to dominate this game. I think they're going to set the tone from the get-go. I just think that they have too many great offensive weapons, most notably Brendan Rice. I think is going to light it up, and he is going to be a impact offensive playmaker tomorrow. But I'm also really, really excited to watch Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is going to look outstanding tomorrow, and then on top of that, I think that Marshawn Lloyd is going to be a tremendous player tomorrow.
So who's your MVP?
So my MVP, I think, might surprise some people, but I think that the MVP tomorrow is going to be Braden Fisk, the defensive tackle from Florida State. I think he is going to be...
He's on the American team.
He's on the American team, but I think he's going to get after...
I don't think the MVP can win without winning the game.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then if that's the case, then I do think it's going to be Bo Nix then.
Bo Nix. Okay, that's your MVP.
Bo Nix, I think will be the MVP then.
Okay. So
fair enough.
That's definitely a good pick. So guys, as I really like, the national team has all the offensive players, if we're being honest.
For real.
They've got Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Sam Hartman, which are obviously clearly the top three quarterbacks in the Senior Bowl. Let's be real here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They've got the top receivers in Brendan Rice, Ricky Purcell, Corley, just all these guys. Like they have the talent. They got the Theo Johnsons. They've got Michael Spanfords and AJ Barners and But what scares me is the American team has the defenders. Like they've got Tavonde Sweat. They've got Braden Fisk.
Exactly.
They've got some of the defenders.
Yeah.
Definitely make a play, but I got to go with the impact player, the players that impact the most, and that is the national team. I got to go. They have the better quarterbacks, so I'm going to pick them because at the end of the day, every single drive, they're going to have a better quarterback than the national team. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Or than the American team. I got the national team pulling it out in a big-time win. I got 41-28. National team takes home the victory with Sam Hartman.
Wow.
Being the MVP
Deep
of
sleeper.
the game, because I just think that with him being the third quarterback, I think that he's going to get the chance to play the longest in the game, as well as when it matters the most, which is the fourth quarter. So I think that Sam Hartman is going to ball out, and I think that when it comes time for him to play, the players that not only he's going to be playing against, but playing with, are going to be elevated. And so I think that, like, you know, the people he's going to have on his team as the third string guys are going to be a lot better than the defense that the American team is going to put up.
Well, since you gave a score prediction, I'm going to give mine. I think it's going to be 31-17. I think it's going to be a close game early because of impact players like T'Vondre Sweat and Braden Fisk, but I think that the national team is going to really start to pull away because of Bo Nix, because of Michael Penix and Sam Hartman making those plays to those impact wide receivers like Brendan Rice and to those great talented running backs such as Marshawn Lloyd.
Yeah, man. Like that's fantastic, man. And that was our preview for the Senior Bowl tomorrow. You know, we're here at the Walk-Ons bar, man. You know, shout out to Wesley. Like, he's given us this amazing opportunity to come here and you know,
broadcast
our show.
This is awesome, man.
There's nothing more that we could have asked for, and we just really appreciate it. You know, we had a couple guests on. You know, we had Brian McNamara, the father of Austin McNamara, and we've had the what were their names?
So we had Big Blue in the Bronx here. Absolutely loved meeting those guys, man. John, Luca, Alex, and Brian. Shout out to you guys.
We're actually gonna go tap in with them before we leave this place.
Absolutely.
Just to tap back in with them, man.
Very cool guys.
Fantastic guys here, just doing the same thing we're doing.
Tremendous insight too.
And you know, I think that's it, man. I think
this is it, man. We've covered, I think, everything, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into our show this week. It has been a phenomenal experience. First-class hospitality from everybody down here in Mobile at Walk-Ons Bar at the Senior Bowl. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah, man. It was absolutely fantastic opportunity to come, and thank you to Wesley. Thank you to Walk-Ons Bar. He invited us to come and film a show here whenever we are down in Mobile, and you know, that's just an awesome, and I'm so gracious for the opportunity. And you know, Elevation Sports, as you guys know, like, we're finding our way, and not only was this trip just a fantastic opportunity for us, but this alone. And so we can't do nothing but thank Walk-Ons Bar and thank everybody incorporated, the amazing waiting staff, the amazing staff here at Walk-Ons Bar, man. They have been treating us with fantastic, you know, just everything, man. You know, they got us the amazing food. They got us the amazing beer. They've been super hospitality, like, since we've been here.
First class.
And so thank you guys, man. And thank you, Elevation Sports fans, like, from Colorado,
all over.
Like, thank you guys so much for all the love and support. We are just doing this for you guys, and we're trying to get you guys the best content and the best insight that we can. And you guys will be tapping in with us not only on our vlog of this whole experience, but the vlog tomorrow for the Senior Bowl will be live on TikTok again, and it'll be on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for viewing tonight. Thank you guys so much for checking in. Make sure you guys come to Walk-Ons Bar ASAP then down in Mobile, Alabama, or wherever you guys got a Walk-Ons Bar. Thank you guys so much. Signing out from Elevation Sports Podcast, you got your boy Henny and your boy Bronco Blake. Signing off, man. Thank you guys so much. Have an amazing night and stay elevated.
Enjoy the game.